I'm sorry, I don't have a normal body.
It's tragic.
Bodies change.
That would be like mortifying.
Tittiesntoos.
Welcome to another Titties and Twos. Today we have a very special guest who might make a feature on here depending on how she feels. But little Rosie, our little meow is here. And today we are going to be talking about self-love and body image within the tattooing area.
Yes. Yeah, I think this topic is something that I'm very passionate about. I think obviously as well, for me personally, it's something that I've been struggling with. But yeah, just seeing it with my clients, I decided we need to do something about this. So I did put stickers on my mirrors in my studio that says absolutely no negative comments about your body are allowed in the studio. And I think a lot of people comment on it, and I think it's a valuable thing to maybe just talk about. It's just how people are sort of pre-programmed to automatically have something negative to say about themselves when they see themselves in the mirror, and it just absolutely breaks my heart.
But isn't that what society has kind of ingrained in people?
Yeah, definitely.
You know, that the moment that you are not to their perfect standard, then it's about you looking at yourself. Now, coming in for a tattoo, you're in front of this huge mirror.
All the lights on.
And
yeah.
yes, everything is there invisible, and you kind of like in this space. And the first thing to do is to kind of compare, like how you are not that society perfect.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I think the one client once said, and my heart broke, she said, I'm sorry, I don't have a normal body.
What is normal?
And I was like, what do you mean? What is a normal body? And who decides what is a normal body?
Yes.
It's so, yeah, it's just something I guess I'm a bit over in society in general as well. We women, especially women, are very conditioned on you have to look a certain way. You can't have cellulite, you can't have this, otherwise you're not considered beautiful or pretty or whatever. And I feel like it's just something that as a society and as women, we have to work on and try and fight.
But yeah, not just fight, but kind of change your own conditioning of what you see, what you say to yourself, how you perceive yourself, and not focus on the perception of others of you, because that's theirs.
Yeah.
If they've got a problem with you, that is their problem, not yours.
Yeah.
It is about you being able to find who you are, being able to love who you are with what you've been given.
Yeah.
You know, yes, not everybody is perfect.
Yeah.
Like legit, nobody's perfect. And I mean, I know there are perfect examples out there. And when I mean perfect, I mean literally they are perfect. But good for them, you know, but they've got other shit that's going on, you know, which you might not have that's going on.
Yeah, and you never know what struggle that person is going through anyway. Oh, you know what? I think it just breaks my heart. I think the situation that sort of made me decide to put the stick on my mirrors was two friends who came in together for a tattoo, and the first thing the one girl said was, oh, look at these thighs and look at these cellulites and and then she followed that with, but I've had 3 kids. And my brain was like, your body created 3 humans. That is amazing. You're a goddess. Like, how can you even worry about the cellulites? And then I just felt like, no, it needs to stop.
But 100%.
Yeah, and even with that stick on my mirror, I still have clients who, even if I just have to, I mean, you have to shave that area when you tattoo anyway, regardless if you're hairy or not. And then they'll apologize for being hairy. And I'm like, oh, you're not hairy. And it's nothing to apologize for, even if you are hairy. It's just a process that you have to go through to get a tattoo anyway. So it's not like I'm deciding, oh, I'm going to shave you because you are hairy.
Yeah.
It's just that something you need to do before you do a tattoo. So, and it just breaks my heart every time I hear clients saying negative things about themselves. And then also knowing that probably when they go home, they have the same opinions about themselves when they look in their mirror.
Yes.
And I feel like, it's not necessary. Everybody's beautiful in their own way. And I mean, you have a body that's amazing. That's how you experience life. And you should be so grateful for it and just celebrate. And that's the point of getting a tattoo in the first place. You do want to celebrate your body and yourself. And I think, I don't know if it's because there's another person involved that they feel like they have to apologize for something like that, but any good artist won't that thing is not even going to matter. The cellulite's not going to be in the way. It's not a big deal. You don't have to apologize for it. You don't have to feel like you are lesser than because you don't look a certain way, or you don't deserve that tattoo in that spot because there's cellulite or whatever. It's a normal thing. Bodies are bodies.
I think the biggest thing is people somewhere, everybody, somewhere in your life, somebody said something. Maybe it was not just one person, maybe it was more than one person that said something, and that stuck with you. And instead of getting to a point where you become comfortable about who you are and accepting, there are certain things that I can change and that I can work on, but I still need to be comfortable in who I am. Until that point, you are constantly going to break yourself down. I know for a fact that the things that we say to ourselves, we would never dare say to somebody else. We would never just that first thought. I mean, whatever you are thinking right now, that first thought that you would say to yourself, you would never go up to somebody and say, you are like this, this, and this, and this, because that would be like mortifying, not just for you, but for the other person. So why are we doing it to ourselves? And why are we not accepting when we are getting something on our bodies, like a tattoo, that we are celebrating what we have to show?
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's become so. I watched this very beautiful little documentary once where people. Oh, hello, Rosie. These group of women try to investigate, like, at what age do women start belittling themselves? And it was just a heartbreaking story of these little girls that are like 6 and 4. I think it started at 4. And even they were being negative about themselves. And how the conclusion of the documentary was basically that we learned that from our parents and we learned that from our mother. Because then at the end they spoke to these girls' parents, and then they asked the mother, but how do you speak about yourself in front of your kids? So it's just this thing that's sort of just been passed down through generations and our society as well, that you have to look a certain way, you have to be skinny to be beautiful, you have to do this and that and that. And it's definitely, I think, a habit, a mental thought process habit that you can break, and you should start breaking, even if you don't even believe it at the beginning. But just when you look at yourself, before you think that negative thing, think something positive first, or just say I love you to yourself instead of saying something negative. So I think it's a big societal issue.
No, but it is, and I've seen a lot of people also on the opposite side of, I almost want to say, being the trolls to this. Look at things and they don't understand, they don't know. And I think that's where with bullying, if you look at it, why it became so easy, because they don't understand why somebody is where they're at, or what happened to them, or you don't know what that person went through for their body to be where they are. And just to say face off what you think, because now you feel good about yourself and you feel good about what you said because you belittled somebody else. I mean, that's tragic to me. It's tragic that you have to feel good about yourself by breaking somebody else.
And I think we spoke about it earlier this morning, just when you say something negative about someone else, it says more about you than what it says about that person.
Correct.
And that, I think, it also just breaks my heart when you realize, like, someone else is breaking that person down, but how do they then feel about themselves?
Correct. And then also what happened with them, so that they feel the need to do that. What happened when they were growing up. So that is almost their way of being positive, if I can put it that way. It's tragic, like that we can't just accept one another and accept that there are things that happen, that everybody's going through something. Why not just be kind?
And bodies change.
Yes.
Bodies go through phases.
Yes.
And I mean, something as stupid as just birth control that has such a big influence on your weight gain or loss or whatever. So just getting to a place where you're compassionate towards yourself and your own body and your own journey. I mean, for instance, if you've had kids, then what you've went through. There's no need to be mean to yourself. So I know this whole topic is very difficult to sort of wrap or just to achieve.
Yeah.
It's very easy. It's easier said than done, definitely. But I do think as individual people, we can all work on loving ourselves more and accepting ourselves more
Yes.
the way we are and each other. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, there's no reason for you to not get a tattoo because you are shy about your body or uncomfortable about your body. In a tattoo studio, there's no need to apologize for anything about your body. Your body is a body, and that's beautiful.
Well, look, I mean, if I had to wait until I lost weight, I would not have any tattoos. So,
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's about being able to embrace what I have right now and also get what I want.
Yeah.
You know, and if I lose weight, great. If I don't, then this is what I have.
Yeah,
And to work with that. And just kind of like to understand yourself, understand your body, and embracing it.
Yeah,
You know, it's I know, especially like when I was in my 20s, it was a very different stage and your mentality was very different and all of that. And it's almost like you wanted to please people around you. And when I hit my 30s, I was just like, nope, done with that.
Yeah.
And where I'm at now, I'm just like, that sounds like a you problem.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a me problem. I'm okay where I'm at because I know what I'm doing and I know what I'm busy with. And it's a daily thing for myself as well. I know I say it a lot to you, but be kind to yourself. And I say it to everybody because I realize as a society, we are not kind to ourselves. And we are not kind to how we perceive ourselves and how we perceive our bodies. And am I perfect? Hell no. Am I okay with where I'm at? Yes.
Yeah.
Because right now is where I'm at. I can't change anything to be different like straight away tomorrow. But can I work on things? Absolutely, I can. But to have that stop you or have somebody say to you, oh no, you can't get a tattoo because you're too fat. Really? Really? Maybe you should just adjust the little decometer to down because I think that's where you're at.
Yeah.
You know?
And then also, once again, it reflects where they are
Correct.
with themselves. Yeah.
Correct.
Oh.
So I think having that up against your mirror, I remember the first time I saw it and I smiled when I saw it because to me it was such a bold statement. For anybody that walks in there. Doesn't matter your age, your anything, doesn't really matter. But it's for you as a person to look at that and say, okay, I don't know what's going to happen if I do this here because I see the warning. It literally kind of sometimes, it gives that vibe of being at a principal's office. Like, I see this warning. I don't know what's going to happen, so I'm not going to try it.
Yeah,
you know.
I think because at the end it says by order of management.
Correct.
Like you can't do this.
Correct.
You can't cross this line.
But I also think that if they do, you as the tattoo artist, you're actually going to say something to them.
Yeah. Sometimes I just point and I'm like, listen, look at this rule. You're not allowed. Yeah. I don't want to hear anything negative. Yeah. And usually I think it's something that just blows my mind. There's nothing wrong with the person. They're beautiful. All my clients are beautiful. There's no reason to apologize for anything. But I think it's just become such a habit and also sort of expected. Like you can't look at yourself and not say something negative.
Yeah.
You have to apologize for something. And if you don't, then that means you're arrogant or full of yourself or whatever. And that's so weird to me. Like, no, you don't have to comment anything negative. You don't have to.
Self-love, self-care is not being arrogant. It is not thinking too much about yourself. It is about understanding your own strength, your own courage, your own grit, your way of how you are, and accepting it. And understanding that it creates such a different way of how you deal with anything and everybody else. You know, the moment that you are the person that is going to break down others, like you said, it says more about you than what it does about the person you're trying to break down. So you breaking yourself down, it's kind of little bells going off about how you need to talk to yourself.
Yeah, and it's heartbreaking. It's really because I mean, when someone says something like that, you automatically have like this little insight into their brain and realize like, oh, this person obviously has a bit of trauma with this or that.
Yes.
And it points to things that you can maybe work on, or a trauma that happened that you need to work through. Okay, and it's sad to realize that we all have that, and that we all have to work through that.
Yes. And I mean, I think the reality of it is people can say they're fine. I mean, we all do it. But everybody has something that they're working through.
Yeah.
Whether it is childhood trauma, whether it is now trauma, doesn't matter. You've got something that you're working through. And if you are constantly going to berate yourself because of what you see, you are not helping your trauma. You are not getting
repeating
better.
that cycle.
Correct.
Yeah.
And repeating that cycle ultimately means whoever you are in contact with, you are kind of like projecting on that and projecting on them.
Yeah.
You never know what your words could mean in somebody's life and what it could do towards them, towards their self-esteem, to what they are experiencing or what they are going through.
Yeah. I think the one thing that I obviously I also have things to work on about myself.
We all do.
But I think the one thing that sort of upsets me, or it used to upset me before I had this rule in my studio, is, I mean, I'm plus sized, and then I would have this really beautiful skinny woman, and then they are mean to themselves about being fat. And then I'm like, but I'm obviously bigger than you, so what are you thinking about me then? So now you, so then it's just, like, it causes people to just think in different ways, and it triggers things in other people. So it's all things that you can keep in mind. It's just to practice to not belittle yourself. It's not necessary. Definitely not in a tattoo studio.
No, you are there to celebrate your body. You are there to celebrate it by getting something that you are in love with, that you want to see every day. I know I've said it previously where you kind of get used to it so you don't see it anymore. But I promise you, there are times when I'm sitting down and then I just literally sit and look at my tattoos and then I'm like, oh, this makes me so happy. And, this is how it makes me feel. And then it makes me think about other things or the reason why I got it or anything. And that is the beauty about getting your tattoo. So by getting it and by accepting, whatever I have, I'm going to go and get it. That is you celebrating yourself.
Yeah, 100%. And how beautiful it is it that tattoos are a method to use to actually heal this trauma. A lot of people, they maybe don't like their legs, and then they get tattoos on it, and then they love their legs all of a sudden.
Correct.
And so it's a beautiful way to just work on yourself and be excited about your body. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think we as a society are what is causing a lot of people to doubt themselves. But I think if you make the change for yourself, then that's one life that's already changed, And even if it's just starting with when you get a tattoo, being able to look at yourself and say, okay, I'm following this rule by order of management, and I am going to say something positive about myself. And whether it is about, yes, this tattoo looks amazing where it is, or where it's placed, or how it looks on me, that is starting. And that is actually taking on that challenge for yourself and loving yourself.
Definitely. And I think the more people that practice this, the more it spreads, because when I started sort of just working on being attentive to how I speak to myself, then I started noticing how people speak about themselves.
Yes.
And I think it happened with my mom, where she was saying something negative about herself, and I was like, I'm not going to have that. You can't be that mean to yourself in front of me.
Yes.
And I could see it sort of shocked her a bit, and then it made her think. So I think the more people who practice this sort of self-love and being kind to yourself, the more it's going to trickle down, and hopefully we can help heal society a bit in that way.
Absolutely. We can absolutely heal society by getting all the tattoos in life.
Tattoos are the answer.
Exactly. The answer is always yes.
Just get
yes. Yeah. If it's the word tattoo, yes. But thank you very much for joining us in the session. We hope that you are going to practice some self-love for this week, for this month, for this year. And look at how you talk to yourself, and, try and remember that you're beautiful. And I hope you embrace that fact. We would love if you
Yeah,
could
share
leave
a
us some,
story.
share some stories, give some comments. And then also hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, get the notification of when we are live again. And thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
Bye.
Titties and toos.